Watching as a parent from the crowd, Dennis Love found himself not even cheering during the final minutes of the Sweet 16, as he had seen this movie before at so many levels. His son had caught fire and left defenders exasperated and in disbelief with the realization that this one player was single-handedly going to end their team's season. Caleb Love was born for these moments. That's the way his father sees it.
I probably recognized it in the fifth grade. It was a couple of things. One, in the fifth grade, I didn't have to tell Caleb to go to the gym anymore. He was telling me. Man, the kid used to get up before school and would run through the neighborhood just to be in shape. That's I would say that's when I really began to see it. I didn't have to tell him anymore. You know, we would play a game. I remember we played in a tournament in Wisconsin, coincidentally against Dawson Garcia. They beat us in the championship. You know, it was a situation that I still remember it like it's yesterday, man. We got the lead. It's like we up 2. It's maybe 10 seconds left. I call a timeout. I'm the coach. I call a timeout. I said, we got it. We got it won. This is the game to advance to the Final Four. I said, we got the game won. I told the team, get the ball to Caleb. He best free throw shooter on the team. They got to foul us. Caleb, just go knock down the free throws. You don't have to do anything. Caleb dribbles to the elbow, pulls up a jumper, misses it. They throw the ball up the court to a kid in the corner. He shoots a 3 and he kisses off the backboard. Now, here's the reality. And maybe Caleb's shot selection is on me. I didn't get mad at him. You know what I told him? You gotta knock that shot down. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people, when he's jumping them, saying you shouldn't have shot the ball, but I never wanted to make him gun shy. You know, if you feel it, you take it, you know, and so put that on me. But when we come back to Wisconsin, game over, we learn from it, right? I remember I came downstairs and he's doing push-ups. He's doing leg lifts, you know. The kid and he had that from fifth grade. That's how I knew. That's when I began to say, I think he can be pretty good.
Somewhere along the way during his freshman year at Carolina, Love began to look lost. He had never shot the ball that badly in his life before, and not just badly by his own standards. We're talking about historic levels of inefficiency. Mentally, he was about as far away as one can be from the player that was exuberating all of that confidence against UCLA on the biggest of stages. That's when Dennis Love had an idea to connect his son with the once local product, Drew Hanlon, one of the top NBA skills trainers in the world.
Drew being a guy that I watched in high school, knew he could shoot the ball. And then you see the success he's had with Jason and Brad and others. So it was just really about, and you know, when you want to get your kid some help, you want to get him with the best. So I reached out to him. Well, I had Caleb reach out to him first, you know, because, you know, this is sort of like your career. I want you to do it. You know, no different than if it's talking to a coach. You go talk to the coach. So he, of course, connected with C. And C just called me up. And he was like, hey, Dad, I want to go to California Monday. I think it was a Saturday. He said, I'm coming home. You know, I want to go. And, man, just like the last 20 years of his life, if he said, we're doing it. You know, I'm not thinking about the money or anything like that. I talked to his mom. We're going to California, you know? And so we went out there, man. And, man, Drew is awesome, man. I mean, the first day we get there, he asked Caleb shooting the ball. He videotaped him. He said, I got it. Just like that. And he worked on him with a few drills, man, you know, and he just take him through reps after that. And the shot changed. I mean, like Caleb couldn't miss. He couldn't miss, man. You know, he's in the gym with other NBA guys and he just couldn't miss, you know. And that's the beauty of Caleb is he's always been this kid. I guess this is how, when I started to believe that he could be special, you know, because obviously I've coached kids in the past. You tell him something, he can go put it in effect. He can execute it. See, some kids may try something and they may do it in drills. It doesn't carry over. Caleb has the ability to carry something over instantly.
In addition to working with Love's idols in Tatum and Beal, Hanlon runs a training firm, Pure Sweat, that works with the best of the best all-world talent the league has to offer, like Joel Embiid and Zach LaVine. As a fellow St. Louisan, he had always cheered on Love from afar, but had never worked with him before the past summer. After setting their start date, Hanlon established the points of emphasis that he would work on with Love for when the Carolina guard made it to Los Angeles.
The biggest thing that I did was I went to the game film. I think game film is the most important thing, because there's people that can do things in workouts and it looks great, but if it doesn't transition to the game, it doesn't really matter. And so I went to the game film, noticed that his balance was a little bit off. A lot of times his feet were landing together or he was leaning backwards. And then I also noticed that his rhythm was a little bit off. Sometimes when players are going through shooting slumps, what they'll end up doing is they'll end up jumping, holding, then shooting, because they're trying to kind of they think it's adding kind of control to it, and especially when they're seeking that control when they're in a slump. But really, we just wanted to focus on improving his balance, improving his posture, which meant a little bit more shoulders over knees, getting him leaning forward a little bit more, so his momentum was more forward instead of backwards. And the last thing was just flowing. We want everything from the feet to the follow through to connect. And so those are the three things that we identified. We did a ton of breakdown drills to make sure that those three things were checked off. And it's really fun to see the run that he's went on and the season that he's put together after the bounce back year from his from his freshman season.
The Loves saw an almost immediate return on their investment as the work paid off tenfold. Love's field goal percentage shot up 5.5% from last year, and his three-point percentage went up an astronomical 10.5%. Hanlon had worked his magic, yet in his mind, he simply gave Love a guide, and it was Love out there executing it, no matter if he was the only person out on the hardwood.
I like to give him all the credit. You know what I mean? We spent some time in the gym. I gave him a blueprint to follow, and he was the one that put in the work. He was the one that spent all those hours in the gym, and regardless if I was there or not, he was the one that was really attacking the process. And just an unbelievable person. Like I said, I mean, I only spent a couple of weeks in the gym with him, and he took everything and applied it to his own game. I mean, it just shows you, how much he wanted it, how much he craved getting back and doing the things that he knew he could do to help this Carolina team win. And for me, it's just, I love when good people win. And, he's a great person. He's a really hard worker, and we all knew he was a pro. And I think that there were a lot of scouts that kind of gave up on him last season. I think there were a lot of, whether it was Carolina fans or just college basketball fans in general, that thought, oh man, he was maybe a little bit overhyped in high school. But I think he's showing everybody, why he was a McDonald's All-American, why he was so highly recruited, and how special of a player he can truly become.
Only Love and his immediate circle know the extent of the struggles that he's been through. They've seen how Twitter and social media lit a 20-year-old up at his lowest moments. Even though they told him not to read it, he did. It's why once those games ended in Philadelphia, they shared a tearful embrace together, thinking about the journey he's taken to get here. Maybe it was those messages fueling every rep in a lonely Smith Center this past summer while he worked tirelessly on his revamped shot, looking up periodically at the banners that hung above and how they would have to make room for what he had in store. Dennis Love likes UNC's chances as they head to the weekend because Dad is taking Caleb over everything, and Carolina has Caleb.